This is a picture of the last day me and Nick smiled in about 3 months. It's also a picture of our last day of blissful ignorance. So we started the program under the audacious thought that millennials wanted to maximize earnings on their savings. Another way of saying it is I thought my fiance sitting in the front row actually wanted to earn more money. Crazy, right? Fast forward all this time, we've come to the stark conclusion that that's not the case. What they want is to be rewarded.
In a similar fashion, banks are not technology innovators. We've seen firsthand what a $1.3 billion tech innovation budget gets you at a top 10 national bank. Trust me, I used to be a lead developer on PNC's innovation team, and not as good as you would think. I'm Nick Habib. I'm CTO and co-founder of Froogal.
And I'm Cale Pash. I'm chief exec of Froogal. So let's dive a little bit more into what we learned over the last 12 months or so. One, it's that millennials don't give a damn about APYs and APRs. What they want is to be rewarded. Two is that millennials are still financial planning just like their parents. They're using Microsoft Excel sheets, passive-aggressive conversations around the dinner table, and complete and utter ineffectiveness. Three, we learned that the social capacity of millennials during this whole process is limited to maybe using Venmo or most likely playing the game of, I hope he forgets that I owe him money. That's traditionally how it works. So now, these aren't new problems. They've been around for essentially forever. But they aren't going to be solved by putting a coffee bar in your lobby or listing 2% online, and certainly not by, as Rami was alluding to, building a better wheel. What we need in this case is we need a better car. So what are the features of this vehicle? So there are three things. One, we stop entirely paying interest rates, and we offer what the millennials want. That's rewards. Two, we provide social financial planning tools to these millennials. And three, we provide full social capacity during this whole adventure. Now let's work through each one of these. One, 38.8% of millennials believe that financial planning is their most important financial task for over the next 12 months. This is above paying off student loans and managing their credit card debt, which is a little bit crazy. With the Froogal platform, they can do this in a simple and intuitive format. Now, to give an easy example, Team Froogal's off to Gatlinburg this weekend for a long-needed vacation. We were able to pull in the whole collective into a shared Froogal account, plan out line item by line item what we would be doing, pool our money, get everything approved so everyone no complaining about the extended stay we'd be staying at, or the and we were able to come to a consensus that everything was great, book the trip in about 20 minutes. Now that's the future of saving. Two, 8 in 10 millennials have said that they'll switch banks for better rewards. Froogal offers the first innovative rewards program in the banking space. Kind of think of us as the Amex for banking. Now, the best way to explain this is, imagine you're going on a trip. So now you're flying to Hawaii on a flight paid for by Froogal, staying at a hotel paid for with Froogal points, and then ultimately watching Netflix when you get to that hotel and not even leaving the room, all paid for by Froogal. Last, the social component's key here. 1 in 3 millennials intend to switch banks in the next 90 days. Now that's a massive number, and we'll get there in a second. Now, where are they going to switch? They're likely going to switch to a bank that their friends, family, or coworkers have recommended to them or they're currently banking at. With the Froogal platform, we have built entirely shared accounts so then they can actually pull in their friends and family to plan together and build a social life. Now this is couples, groups, organizations, and soon to be small businesses can all handle all their financials through the Froogal platform.
Okay, boomers. You may be wondering why we're focusing so much on the millennial demographic. Well, as of right now, there's 75 million millennials in the United States, and by 2030, they will outnumber the boomer generation by 22 million. So by focusing on this demographic, we are going to gain trust early on and become the bank of the future.
Now, market validation. So if you haven't switched banks recently, you're slowly becoming the minority. Digital banking, for a number of reasons, is pulling depositors en masse from the traditional players. The fact of the matter is, increased attrition rates aren't good for anybody, but they can be catastrophic for the prehistoric incumbents. Now, we make money in an entirely different business model than the traditional players in this space. Essentially, our revenue generated is from 2 different pathways. One is the cost of the rewards versus the interest we earn on the deposits we're putting at our partner bank. 2 is via the affiliate commissions we're earning from brokering each of the products in our rewards program from vendors. This comes out to approximately $3 per user per month for the spread and approximately $22 per user per month for the affiliate commission. Now, we're not in the business of driving up deposit costs for these banks. What we're here to do is create a new channel for them to pull in customers, place deposits at their institutions at a price very close to Fed funds, and then handle all customer service and technological innovations in the future, thus removing this entirely from banks' operating expenses.
So where we're at today is, as Rami mentioned, we're over 1,000 users on our wait list. Within the past few weeks, we've launched our private beta, and we've grown 10 times over since we've joined the program. And then we will be launching to the public on December 1st. We're trying to get our product out there in time for the holiday season. We think that being able to, be the bank that's offering Netflix is going to be a lot more interesting dinner table conversation around the Christmas table than getting an extra 28 cents or so from a large bank.
So this company started just like every cliche startup would. Nick and I being like, there has to be a better way, and then us ultimately deciding that maybe we could build this better way. Nick's background was with PNC Bank's innovation team as a lead, where we really got to look at what $1.3 billion couldn't buy, and that's making a bank into a technology company. My background's with the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, a subset of the US Treasury. Now that's a very, very long phrase for a very, very ineffective agency. Essentially in this role, I covered all community and mid-sized banks across Florida. And in this spot, we jested earlier about the technological lack of innovation at large banks, but it almost appears that the community banks were just recently introduced to the internet. Now, lastly, we're looking for a $250K round pre-seed right now in order to scale us over the next 6 to 12 months, get us to that 20,000 user count, and ultimately allow us to really generate a competitive advantage and a barrier to entry in this space. We hope to have you on this adventure. Thanks.
Thank you.